Joe Schmo. Joe Schmo. The Joe Schmo. Joe Schmo.
Welcome into another episode of the Joe Schmo Sports Show. With me, as always, you got me, Clint Webb. Then you got Mr. Dominic Battistella.
What's going on, Clint?
And the man over there on the mixing boards, Mr. Andre Cameron. How you doing, Dre?
What's up, bud?
Hey, man. All right, now today we got with us the commish, Merrill Holloway.
Hello, hello.
And Mr. Ryan Collins. I don't really have a nickname for him.
Yeah, man, I was just going to say, I can't
We'll
get a
figure
nickname
it
or
out.
nothing.
We'll figure it out. Today, what we're doing, we're having these guys in to do a fantasy episode.
What we're doing is we're doing our Joe Schmo
Our-
Sports Show
our
fantasy
Joe
football
Schmo
preview.
Spectacular, if you will.
Yes, exactly.
All right?
We're going to cover everything you need to know
Everything you
about
need to
fantasy
know.
football over the next, hour to 2 hours, depending on how
Yeah.
long it takes us.
Yeah.
But if you're going to play fantasy football this year, you don't really need to listen to any other podcast.
Nah, this is
Just
where you
listen
need
to
to be.
this one.
We got the experts in the house today.
Everything else is just like a bunch of jackasses telling jokes. You want to listen to these four jackasses tell
Yeah.
jokes. You only have to listen to one episode, and then you can get on with your life. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to listen to the whole, pre-season of episodes.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, just
That's
listen
like,
to-
we
just
we
listen
got
to
it
one.
all. We listen to all
Yeah.
the podcasts, so you don't have to.
Right,
It's about
exactly.
one-stop shop.
Exactly.
Yeah, so one-stop shop.
So
Yeah.
where we starting there, Clint?
Okay, so first of all, we need to mention the Schmo draft with the Schmo League that we're going to be
Oh
having.
yeah. So the Joe Schmo Sports Show Fantasy
Yep.
Football League.
Yep, it's going to be a 12-team league.
It's gonna be a 12-team league.
It's going to be pros versus Joes.
Pros versus Schmos.
Well,
in reality, exactly.
Okay, well,
So,
pro versus Schmos.
6 amateurs, 6 professional
That's right.
athletes.
Professional athletes or
That's
ex-professional athletes, but
Yes.
we still call them professional
Yeah,
athletes
yeah.
because they deserve it.
Yeah.
So we're going to be taking one, maybe 2 listener spots for the league,
I think.
or we're just going to be doing one.
I think we got somewhere around 3.
We got
maybe.
3
I don't
listener
know.
spots.
We'll figure that
Okay,
out.
so the way to get on the list for that is to hit us up on all social media. So you got J Schmo Sports on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, or you can just leave us a comment on YouTube, Joe Schmo Sports Show on YouTube.
But if you want to qualify for a spot, this is what you really need to do. You need to go to Apple Podcasts, Google,
Yes, you do.
Spotify. You need to leave
Preach.
us a review, subscribe, rate it.
5 stars.
5 stars only.
Yep.
Yeah.
4
exactly.
stars, you don't get in the league.
Yeah, exactly. 5 stars only to get into the league. You got to leave a review and a rating.
Yeah.
Period.
It's really simple.
Yep.
So we will be reviewing those. And so if you do want and you still want to interact with us on the social media, just hit us up, J Schmo Sports, on all your major social media platforms.
We got a lot of other stuff to cover. So.
Are we done with everyone's attitude? I just got told I have a dick in my mouth.
Hey, all right, so next
Making
on the
too
list
much
we
slurping
have
noise.
draftable starters.
Wait,
So
draftable starters.
that's
We're
what
doing
I have written
Nah,
down.
What did we just
comparisons.
spend
Okay.
2 hours on?
Right. Well, it was a little bit different.
Comparisons.
Yeah. All right. So comparisons. So I'm gonna give you guys some stats, and these are all very fantasy relevant players. All right.
Okay.
Tell me who you would draft of the 3.
Or who they are.
And who they are, right?
Okay.
So we'll start with wide receivers. All right. So you got 70 catches, 1,006 yards, 13 touchdowns. All right. So that's wide receiver A.
Okay.
70, 1,006, and 13.
I know who that is.
All right. So second wide receiver B, 90 catches, 936 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Those are supposed to be comparable?
90, 936, and 6. Next, 88 catches, 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns. I think we all know who that is.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So these guys have very different draft positions, right?
So far or last year?
No, last year and probably this year.
Yeah.
All right. So wide receiver A finishes wide receiver 8. Wide receiver B finished at number 13. And wide receiver C finished at 6.
Okay.
Okay. So you can wait on wide receiver B a lot, and there's not too much of a difference between him and wide receiver A, who you have to take pretty quickly ish. All right. So who's wide receiver A?
I feel like it's Mike Evans.
It is Mike Evans.
Yeah, with the touchdowns.
Right. So he's right on the break-even point of your tier 1.
Right. He caught a
tier
bunch
2.
of 1-yard touchdowns.
Bunch of 1-yard touchdowns. Hence
Hey,
the
that's great, though.
1,006 yards. Right.
Okay.
But again, at a game this year. All right. So who's wide receiver B? 90, 936, and 6. Finished wide receiver 13 on the year.
I guess it's Thielen. No.
Nope. Thielen had up there, I think, touchdown-wise, right? 13, 14.
Those
something
sound like slot receiver numbers to me.
Okay.
6 touchdowns.
936 and 90
900
catches.
90.
A lot of
90
catches.
catches. A
but
lot of
not
catches.
A lot of yards.
Was that Cole Beasley?
Nope. Good guess, though.
Yeah.
He was a consideration for
Antonio Brown?
this. Nope.
Nope.
Man, that would have been great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He'll have about that this year, though.
Yeah.
If you got.
He was on pace for 90.
That's another reason I don't believe in Mike Evans.
No, I get that.
Too many targets.
90, 936, and 6. Finished a wide receiver 13.
McLaurin?
Nope.
No.
Like
This
Woods?
is Bobby Trees.
Bobby Trees.
13, and he's on most people tier 4.
Okay.
Right.
I
So
like
this,
it. I got
him
so
as tier
Bobby
3.
Bobby Trees has never finished below wide receiver 20.
Whoa.
You guys
Wow.
has never
And
finished
he's got a better
below
quarterback
wide receiver
situation.
20.
Pretty solid.
And this dude is being drafted in like the 10th round, 11th round. Something.
I think
This,
that-
yeah, for sure.
I think that I'm skeptical about that.
This is
Hold on.
showing like just value. So number 3, wide receiver C,
JJ.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Right. So he's being drafted
Hi.
right
Yeah.
this year, but
Yeah,
he
yeah,
wasn't
Yep.
last year. Right?
Interesting.
So it just shows you that like they're really not that far apart. 6, 8, and 13. I would like Bobby Trees at 13.
So I will tell you, across all leagues,
Yeah, where's he being drafted in mock drafts this year?
mock drafts, he's being drafted in the 4th round.
Oh wow, good for him. Good for him. Oh, you changed that up. That's that house whiskey. Okay. All right. So we'll go to quarterbacks. This one's fun. Okay, so this is the average over the last 5 years. Can't do 1 year for quarterbacks because it's too easy to guess who they are. Right.
Okay.
Average over the last 5 years for quarterback A. 4,198 yards, 34 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Oh, wow. Whoa. Oh, give
That's
that to
the
me one more
average?
time, man.
4,198, 34 touchdowns, 6 picks. That's okay.
That's low picks.
All right. Quarterback B, 4,179 yards, very comparable. 27 touchdowns, 9 picks. That's quarterback B. Quarterback C, 42-35. This is my favorite one. 29 touchdowns, 9 pick average. To help you guys out, last year, quarterback A finished as the quarterback 3 overall. Quarterback B finished as the quarterback 15 overall. And quarterback C finished as the quarterback 11 overall. So
Can I take
look
a stab at C?
look at how close these numbers are.
Uh-huh.
Look at how close these numbers are.
A for sure is Aaron Rodgers.
For sure. Yep, absolutely.
But the other two.
That's why he was A, because you don't get
when
that
the
much
six,
separation.
The 6 picks, like, so that's like
Yeah, take a stab at C there, right?
Tom Brady's a low pick
I'm
guy.
going to go completely
He's a low pick
out in left field because I think one of these is going to
Quarterback
surprise
11.
you. And this is a guy that I spoke about earlier
Quarterback
that
11.
I like. Is it Herbert? Who?
He's only played 1 year.
Yep, he only played 1 year.
What's
This is
gotta be
average
five?
over the last 5 years.
Hashtag bad listener.
Hashtag bad listener. Last
Hashtag
5
take the dick
over.
out of your ear.
Now the dick's in your ear instead of your mouth. It's an upgrade.
It's a New England.
It's an
thing.
upgrade.
It's a New England bukkake.
This household is not treating me well.
It's a Bills household and a Broncos household.
Oh, wonderful.
All right, so any guesses on B? We'll go B first. Any guesses?
I don't know who else is a low pick person.
27 and 9 with 41.79 average.
It's not Brady.
Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan.
It's gonna be probably more than that, bro.
Yeah, he throws picks.
Yeah. And he probably more
I'm
yards.
trying to think of someone that doesn't throw picks. I can't think of anybody.
Threes, but
You
he
guessed
doesn't
this
play.
yesterday.
Yeah, I know.
So Dom's not allowed to guess.
Yeah,
Because he already knows these.
yeah.
And it's not
Drew Brees
Brady.
is
Brady
not
has to be
playing.
one of these guys.
Nope.
No.
Negative.
No,
Brady
no,
threw
not
more
at
picks
all.
last year.
This is
over
why I
for
did this
lost.
comparison.
Average.
Over the
Oh,
last
and
5
it's
years.
average.
5
But
years.
this is
Still
why
a
I
bad
did this
listener.
comparison to show that
So they played for a
between-
while, so it's a veteran.
especially for quarterbacks, right? So drafting a quarterback early is not always the best
Prescott?
thing.
No.
Nope. Who?
No, he was hurt last year, and he hasn't played 5 years.
No.
Yeah, I don't like the 5-year rule. This is really fucking
bad.
me up.
Well, you got vets. Think vets.
Yep.
Vets.
5 years.
Veterans.
41.79, 27 and 9.
It's not Cam.
It's not Cam.
Oh, he throws picks.
Bet you it's
he
not.
definitely throws picks.
Kirk Cousins?
Nope.
No.
Mark was the best.
27 and 9.
This is for
number 2,
Number
41.79.
Fuck.
Stat
No.
Padford? Wow.
Matt
I guess
Stafford.
he throw picks.
Right, and
No, he really
was
doesn't.
he was QB 15.
Padford.
So if
Yes.
it's Padford, and that's definitely his name from now on.
Yeah.
So he
that's,
threw for 18 yards less a game than Rodgers over the last 5 years, and
Yeah.
the big difference it's 7 touchdowns is a big difference. But you're talking about quarterback 3 here you draft in the first or second round, or quarterback 15 who you're drafting in the 14th or 15th round.
To be consistently that good on
Right.
the Lions,
Yep.
I
I know.
don't think there's anything better. That's a high compliment to anybody.
Absolutely.
You did that
Exactly.
with the who?
All right, so then C, 42-35 average, so more than Rodgers.
Yep.
More than Rodgers by 37 yards, 29 touchdowns, 9 picks, QB 11 on
think I
the
guessed
year
this one
last
too.
year. No, you missed this one too.
I liked your Kirk Cousins game.
Kirk Cousins. 42-35, you guys.
Yeah.
No shit.
42-35, 29 touchdowns, 10 picks, or
I
9
can't
picks.
stand Kirk Cousins.
I know, but this is so why I did this is because you don't have to draft a QB high to get value.
No, I know.
Right?
I know.
And so you can have Rodgers, and that's going to look sexy as shit. That's going to make you feel good. It's going to give you the warm and fuzzies and shit.
you don't
But
need to do that at
But Kirk
quarterback.
Cousins, as 8 quarterbacks lower,
Yeah.
does not have.
Andrew
It's
Luck
not
was
far.
my guy
I
almost
get it.
every year.
I get
Right.
it.
I loved Luck.
All
He
right,
was
so
steady
then,
as hell.
all right, back to 1 year comparisons, right? All right, so we got all these are 15 games, 15 game seasons, 244 carries, 979 yards, 6 touchdowns, 52 catches, 338, 2 touchdowns.
This is over 5 years?
Yep. No, this is just last year.
Oh, okay.
So 15 games, 244 carries, 979 yards, 6 touchdowns running. 52 catches, 338 yards, and 2 touchdowns receiving. All right. Now, running back B, 247 carries, 1,070 yards, 8 touchdowns. 54 catches, 438, and 2. So again, that's 247 carries,
Wow.
1,070 yards, 8 touchdowns.
Okay.
54 catches, 438, and 2. Okay, got that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Next one, 15 games again, 232 carries, 1,169 yards, 11 touchdowns, 36 catches, 299, and 1 touchdown. So repeat, 232, 1,169, and 11, 36, 299, and 1. So we'll start with running back A. Who is behind that curtain?
I'm going to guess Chubb for all 3 of these.
That is absolutely incorrect for all 3 answers.
All right. We got that out of the way.
He had way more
about,
yards.
Dave?
We're doing A. David Montgomery is not A.
Okay.
6 touchdowns.
6 touchdowns, 970.
Almost 1,000 yards.
Yep, almost 1,000 yards on
50
244
catches.
carries.
I'm just trying to think who is that balanced without being
Great.
a pass catching. Yeah, without being great.
I get it. And 15 games played. For all these guys.
Melvin Gordon?
Nope.
No,
I think Melvin Gordon had over 1,000 yards.
he did.
If I'm
I
not
couldn't-
mistaken.
I remember he missed a couple games.
That would have been a good one. I should have looked into that too. That would have been a good one for these comparisons.
Wow.
It is Zeke.
Ah.
Ding, ding, ding. Mr. Zeke Elliott.
What a terrible year.
Right. And he played 15 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why he's on the list. All right, number 2, 247, 1070 and 8, 54, 438 and 2. Who is this? Oh, and by the way, Zeke finished running back 11.
Who had
Taylor.
1070 last?
Nope, 247, 1070 and 8.
Will Chamberlain.
He had 100 once. I don't think he had 1078 though, or 1070.
I don't know, man. I don't like this exercise. I'm just going to start
Is
pulling
this
stuff out of-
Montgomery?
Yes.
Tiki Bar.
Tiki Barber.
Damn
no,
Billy
Okay.
David Montgomery. He finished the running back 4 as we talked about earlier. All right.
Okay.
15 again, 232 carries, so less carries. 1169 and 11. 36 for 299 and 1. Finished running back 9.
It wasn't Robinson, was it?
Nope.
11 touchdowns
I think he
on
was
the ground.
1,200
Is it
yards.
Jacobs?
Nope. Jacobs was 1,007 yards, I think.
11 touchdowns. That's a lot of touchdowns.
It's a
I'm
lot
just
of
trying to
touchdowns.
think who catches balls that. But I don't think Kenyon Drake comes to mind, but I don't think
not
he had those
Taylor.
yards.
Definitely not Kenyon Drake. It's Jonathan Taylor. It's Jonathan
Touchdowns.
Taylor.
All those touchdowns.
Yeah,
Jonathan
all
Taylor.
those touchdowns. And so he was a running back 9. Montgomery's a running back 4. And Zeke, the popular pick, the one that people would see on the board and be like, yeah, I got to take Zeke,
Yeah.
was 11.
Right.
Yep.
But he was
Right.
out of
Well, the
shape.
crazy thing
Which
is
He was definitely out of shape.
Zeke
He was
was out of
also
shape.
without Dak Prescott. So there's
Right.
there's a lot of contributing factors. His O-line was not very good.
Yeah, he's going to get 1,200, 1,300
I
yards this
don't
year.
disagree with that.
Yeah.
I
But-
will say
Say you can't always take the name.
I have Taylor ahead of Zeke.
So do I.
On my board.
So do I.
So
Yeah, I
For
did too.
sure.
For
Oh
20
yeah, for sure.
I do too.
100%.
Even though I don't
Yeah.
100% believe it,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I do. I think
Yeah.
Zeke's hyped.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think
sure.
Zeke's overhyped.
he
Yeah,
also-
if he's in shape and the offensive line is at least 70% of what they used to be,
Yeah,
then
I
he
think
could be
they're not.
dangerous.
So this is
Right.
a fantasy podcast, right?
Yeah.
And so we're supposed to be spreading advice. This little exercise stresses greater than anything else the importance of putting together the way I did it, points per game.
Yeah.
For all these, because
Sure.
once you put these points per game down,
Yeah.
you would be freaking surprised.
Yeah.
I actually, some of these people, I didn't watch the Colts last year. I don't give a shit about
What-
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
He's actually
That's
good.
what
You
I'm
should
saying.
know who this guy is.
You don't draft the name always, which was the point of that. You don't always have to draft the name or the sexy pick or who people tell you to pick, because these were all stats from last year.
You
right?
want to know what
So-
you want to know what else this does? It tells you that once you've gotten your starting positions filled out, you really just need to load up on your skill positions.
Yeah.
Running backs and wide receivers, running backs and wide
Yep.
receivers,
Nope.
because you don't know which of these guys is going to rise to the elite level, and you'd be surprised who it is. The more you have on your roster at the beginning of the season, the more chances you have
And
of
injuries.
having those starters. Yep. And injuries, absolutely.
Yep.
Exactly.
All right, so have we already talked about sleepers and whatnot?
Not really.
Yeah.
So we can
Anybody
get
have
into-
anything that they'd like to mention for sleepers wise?
Sleepers is my
because
most
we have
favorite and least favorite.
Well, we have some because
Crash and burn with a lot of seasons
yeah,
with these.
Yeah, like most fantasy football players.
Like each position maybe.
Yeah, so it's like, is ETN a sleeper? Right?
Somebody you might
I think
that you
ATN
need
is
to be taking a look at and draft a little earlier than you.
Exactly.
sleepers
Dominic had
could
some
be-
people in mind.
Chase Edmonds was a sleeper for me as a running back
I
for
think
the
he's
Cardinals.
still a sleeper
I think he's definitely a sleeper. Take him late
because everybody liked Kenyon Drake last year.
and start him on your bench, but see what he does.
Yep.
I
Agreed.
I like Javonte Williams.
Oh, yeah, for
right?
sure.
I think
Week
he's going to
5-ish.
ultimately be the starter.
think
You
so,
don't
too.
have to spend anything less than a 10th round draft pick to get
Yeah,
him.
I don't think that
and,
much.
And
Well,
I think you end up with the starting running back on a team that's going to run the ball a lot. Another guy on in running back, David Johnson. He's not being drafted up there.
Because
And he-
Texans
I know it's the Texans, but he's all they've got.
No, but it's not though. Here's the thing, because we have Mark Ingram, we have Philip Lindsay, we have David Johnson.
Again,
I
don't care.
know.
As long as he's healthy,
and it's
he's
the
the
Texans.
guy.
I agree with that. I agree with that, and he can catch the ball, and he's big as shit,
So
and he's fast.
someone else I'll throw on that list, Miles Sanders for the
Oh
Eagles.
fuck him!
Nah,
I just
like
don't.
him.
I am just.
I like
I
him.
think
Who
You
else
do,
do they
Merrill?
got?
I
You
think
like
their
him, Merrill?
running back. I think their running back's name is Jalen Hurts.
Right. I just don't like my. He just didn't show me consistency
Yeah,
at all last year.
I think he was the only person with like 2 90+ runs all year.
Well,
Him
two,
and Chubb,
and
2 or 3.
those are his 2 runs
Yeah.
that made his.
So he's
fantasy year
explosive.
run.
He can do something.
And one of them was against the Steelers.
right.
But if you have a quarterback that is still
We'll see.
figuring out his shit,
Yeah.
they're going to lean on that running game, and they're going to get a lot of more dump-off passes sent his way. We're talking about sleepers. I'm not saying you need to go out and draft him. Just say keep an eye
agree.
on Miles Sanders.
And they have
I'd take a flyer on him.
Devonta Smith who could
And-
open up the or Devontae Smith. I don't know how you pronounce it, but they open up he opens up the field.
Right.
So
I'm
I
gonna
got
say,
I got 4. Go ahead,
yeah.
Dom. I got
I'm
4.
gonna go with another one because we've mentioned his name before, but this was in disappointment. I'm gonna say you're gonna get a lot of value. Jeez, I forgot.
I
Where I
was
was
about
going
to
with
say-
this. You're gonna get a lot of value drafting James Robinson late.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of people think that he's not going to do much, but I
Right.
think ultimately
I think he's gonna be fine.
he ends up being the bell cow
Yeah,
of
no.
that offense again.
Cowbell.
Cowbell.
We're
The
talking
cow
about-
me
Shut up.
ruins
Well, they said he.
my attraction to James Robinson.
Well, Urban.
I'm not saying that you
Early.
draft him as a starter. What I'm saying is that dropped his ADP
Sure.
so far
Well,
that
sure.
he's now a sleeper, and I think that he ultimately does go back to being the guy.
I think
in
I hope
Jacksonville.
so. And Urban Meyer said that ETN was working out exclusively with the wide receivers.
Yes.
I don't know if I believe that or not.
I don't necessarily
However,
either. Yeah, but James
Trevor
Ro-
Lawrence
but-
threw to him in
but
college so many times.
given where he's being drafted right now, I think
Shit,
that
where he was drafted by the Jaguars.
I think that he is going to be better than where he's being drafted
I think
at,
so,
and
too.
he's really he could be.
Is
a
he
good
being
sleeper.
drafted?
Let's see.
A lot of people are going to be drafting stuff based off what they saw last year, and then the preseason is going to start, and all those people that did their drafts this early, which I don't understand people who do that so
I don't
early.
either.
It's ridiculous.
Yours is in a couple weeks.
Yeah, well,
21st?
one league is 21st. I think that's
Yep.
right around. It's a good wheelhouse. 'Cause that's
Currently,
preseason week 3.
and this isn't highly reliable data because most drafts haven't even been done.
No, but people are doing
these
mocks.
are based upon mock
Yeah,
drafts
sure,
right
that's fine.
now. James Robinson's going at the end of the 4th round,
Really?
which is crazy. But I think by the time your league actually drafts,
That's gonna
he's
be
going
value.
to be going way later.
Yeah, that's going to be
Right.
value.
I agree.
That's definitely going to be some value. All right, Mary, you said you had
I
4.
listed one for each position.
All right, what
So
you got?
wide receivers, I think somebody to look out for. I think the Juju Smith-Schuster hate is too crazy. Juju
Okay.
as
I like
somebody to
Juju.
be thinking about.
Well, does Ben have a spaghetti arm this year,
Yes.
or is it Dickens
He does.
that's going to be throwing him the ball?
He does.
Or-
I just feel when that hate is high, sometimes you come up with a surprise.
Dre, is the hate high on Juju?
Juju in the TikTok. Yeah.
right, what you got
I like
running?
I like J.K. Dobbins
Oh.
to be looking at.
So even when they just re-signed Gus Edwards, 2 years, $10 million,
Not
you
worried
just
about
think,
it.
Okay,
I
All
think
right.
J.K. Dobbins
All
is
right.
you can pick him up.
All right.
And of course, I already mentioned. I think that Hawkinson is going to be a great tight end for people to be looking at. And then this is probably for people in 2 quarterback leagues, and we're not talking about that. But Sam Darnold,
Oh yeah, okay.
like that.
All right, he's still a Jet, and is a Jet all the way from his last finished cigarette to his
No,
last
no,
dying
no.
day.
Hold
Maryland,
on.
I'm not a fan.
That's more a
He's
feather in
joking.
his cap of
Yeah.
how he could still maybe be good. They ruin everything.
They do ruin everything,
Yeah.
and I don't think the Panthers are going to help.
I think he's
don't
going to be
think-
pretty good. I think I believe in DJ Moore. I don't know because I've heard him on a couple podcasts, and he's like really looking
nice
to break
guy.
out. Yeah,
He's a nice guy.
his days. Yeah, no, he's a good,
All right, so
Here's-
QB.
smart kid too, man.
Before we get to QB, here's a couple of guys on wide receiver list.
I
Okay,
don't believe in anybody in Jacksonville.
I don't care, but they've got a better quarterback
I
situation.
don't disagree.
somebody's
This
got to
is-
get the
this is-
stats.
Somebody's
this
got to
is-
get it right. Yeah.
This is a guy.
ETN.
This is a guy, right? Who's going to catch some balls.
Sure.
This is a guy that's
he stays healthy.
He's currently going in the 9th round.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
super fucking high.
Yeah,
This is a kid's show.
No,
Don't
it's not.
think it's
They shouldn't be
Not
listening.
anymore.
Don't
I mean,
listen,
they should have
kids.
stopped listening when we talked about that dick in your mouth. So
Or your
we've
ear.
lost
I don't
that.
know.
We've lost that a long
well, these
time
middle
ago.
school kids are playing fantasy football now, man.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Parents can tell them about
they're
this.
listening to this right now,
Yeah.
giggling their little 8th grade assholes.
They hear worse than this.
Oh, they.
They're not going to hear it in the show. Dre, you need to edit all that out, especially the mouth
Here's,
stuff.
here's another
Take the
one.
dick out of your ear.
And I've mentioned this before. Also going in the 9th round, Will Fuller.
Oh, listen, I believe in Will Fuller.
All
Well,
right.
you believe in Will Fuller,
Yeah.
but he's going in the 9th.
I'll take him in the 9th.
I think he's a sleeper for a starter.
I'll take him in the 9th all day long.
HG.
I'll take it. That's fine.
I don't
Yeah.
like it.
That's fine. Don't
And
legalize
I've
it.
had Will Fuller a
was
lot
gonna
of
say, you had
seasons. I
HGH.
usually really no. I had Will Fuller, Clinton. Big fan of Will Fuller. I don't forget, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I've always
Yes,
been
you
big
are.
on Will Fuller,
Yes,
but
you are.
I,
He's a
I just-
DraftKings legend,
I can't
man.
say
Yes,
it
he
enough,
is.
man. Tua, I think he sucks.
Yeah. I don't even know who his backup is.
He's got to throw to somebody.
Yeah. I don't even know who.
And Fuller's the
Fuller-
biggest
who
body
Tua's
there.
Backup. Who is
Fuller
Tua?
doesn't stay healthy either.
No,
It's-
Fuller's the biggest body.
No,
to
I
throw
know
to.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's
And
why he
Tua's gotta
started
throw to
taking the
somebody.
HGH because he couldn't stay healthy. And-
Exactly. He was taking
Yeah.
it to recover
Yeah.
and to stay healthy, not
Yeah,
for
because he's got
performance enhancing.
hamstrings that are made out of
Yeah.
Bad
rubber bands that have
bad
been
rubber
bands.
left in the sun
Yeah,
for 3
bad,
years.
Bad rubber bands. That is
He
absolutely.
just
Yeah.
needs to go to Germany and get some of that,
All right, who was
that,
your,
that, that
sleeper?
Kobe surgery.
Are you talking about Trey Lance here? Who's your quarterback sleeper, Merrill?
sleeper.
Oh, the quarterback was
Yeah.
Darnold. Was like a
Oh,
sleeper
that was Sam
quarterback.
Darnold. That was your quarterback. What about you? Had one for tight end. Is that what you had your fourth? one?
Hawkinson.
Oh,
Yeah,
Hawkinson.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't believe in Sam Darnold.
He's down
Jacksonville.
on his knees.
He's on the roster.
He's the tight end. He's the tight
He's
end.
the H back or whatever they.
Yeah.
He's
whatever
the tight
they
end
make.
He's
seven.
the
man.
H-back is what he is. Not the H-back. He's the H-back.
Yeah.
He's trying anything to get back in.
He's going to be calling games in what's left of the Big 12 by this time in the
Hey,
fall.
he's a really nice guy.
He's a backup
Sure
pastor.
he is.
he's a backup
Backup youth
pastor.
pastor.
He's not gonna make the team.
It's a first-round draft
Oh, he
pick.
definitely won't make the
Pentecostal
team.
He's not gonna make
That
the
boy
team.
throws a football like a can of paint. I've
It's,
never.
it's the weird. It's like him and Cam Newton have the same motion, just different handles.
That is
so,
terrible.
So, sleeper quarterback, Derek Carr.
Oh, D-Car?
I like that.
Yeah, I think he can get into serviceable starter range.
That-
Oh, yeah.
I would put him on the serviceable
Yeah.
starter.
Oh,
range
yeah.
for
Yeah, so
sure,
sleeper.
because
Oh, yeah.
you're
Wild
Gonna be,
card
is he
as
going to be
fuck.
top 3? No.
Has the potential to
He
be.
has the potential to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
You can get him for a song.
You sure
You
can.
want to talk
I have a
about?
Bucks.
sleeper.
I
We're going
mean-
to talk about bust in a second.
Yeah, but
Henry
he's
Ruggs
got
is my
great
sleeper.
boomer bust
Henry Ruggs is my sleeper, and
Yeah.
I think that's probably my only one that I would have said.
Yeah, Ruggs
Sure.
is
Yeah,
Ruggs, that boy.
Ruggs. I mean, he's year 2, second year with Derek Carr. They don't have Nelson Aguilar anymore to steal those. All right, so now we're gonna talk about serviceables. Explain, Dom.
Yeah, these are guys that if you need a guy to throw into your lineup,
Off week, injury.
yeah, they're
turf
reliable.
toe, something
So
like that.
I
Okay.
think that the classic serviceable guy is Frank Gore from years past.
100%.
Right.
Right,
That's a great
he's
call.
the guy that
Steady Eddie.
never got
You know-
drafted or got drafted as maybe a flex, but you throw him in there, and every single season without fail, he ended up being RB2.
All right.
He
so
won't put
this
up a
is-
0.
This is the perfect example of how fantasy and real life football
Are different.
differs.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is fun.
Because Frank Gore is a first ballot Hall of Famer,
Oh, yeah.
but has probably never been drafted before round 4 in any fantasy draft.
Exactly.
Right? Maybe 1 or 2 years, Merrill.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Yeah. Oh, goodness, yeah.
Well, he was 1,000
Yeah.
yards.
He was with the
and,
Niners.
yeah, he was
I
a
don't-
Niners.
so-
My goodness, yeah. He was
Yeah, okay.
first round,
so
second round
who's-
guy.
T.Y. Hilton
Yeah.
would be one of my guys.
I like
on the
that.
service.
Yeah,
I
Well, he's 100 years old, but he also runs one of the best routes in the NFL.
can still fly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and look, and guys, he plays Houston twice a year.
Sure.
Okay, his nickname is T.Y. Houston.
He
Very-
plays him 17
for
times a year.
very good reason, right? But he is definitely a guy that you can say, okay, I'm not upset that I have to play him in my flex because
Sure.
Justin Jefferson has an off week, right?
Yeah.
Or somebody like that is just is off or is injured for a week, or they're resting them because it's week 16 and the Colts are still playing for a playoff bid. He's one of those guys to me.
Let me give you 2 from the running back category. We're going to go with Dobbins.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get
He
that.
is not.
I would play
he is
Gus
not a
Edwards,
starter.
put Gus Edwards on that serviceable list before J.K. Dobbins, because I think J.K. Dobbins is going to be drafted in the second round, third round in most drafts.
I'll let you know where he's drafted here in a second, but I'm going to tell you the other guy here it's David Johnson.
For
He's
sure.
being drafted way low. He's a guy.
I understand that.
He's a guy that's been
Again,
serviceable for
plug
a long
and play just because somebody's hurt.
time. He
or
was
not
at
playing.
one point he was
RB1.
the number 1
Yeah.
running back.
So was Arian
fantasy
Foster.
Well, Arian Foster did that for a lot of years,
He
though.
did. It
He
was
was
great.
super reliable.
Just
He was
wanted to
awesome.
say that because I miss him.
Yeah.
Like, I really do miss him.
Oh,
Whole
back
problem-
when they used to make the playoffs.
No, yeah, with T.J. Yates as our fucking quarterback. That's the problem, man. We were never that team that had we had a great defense, just not good enough. Like they weren't good enough, like the Ravens, to win
Okay.
with Trent Dilfer.
Right.
fucking-
So Dobbins is
Denver.
going surprisingly in the second round right now. I
Yeah.
think that's going to go down.
No, I don't.
I've
stay
got,
steady.
I've got him at 29. Over,
Yeah,
I've got him at 29th running back. So
No
not
way.
even a starter.
Yeah, no way. He's definitely going before that. He's just. Gus Edwards is your third down back for sure, and your
Yeah.
serviceable replace. He's your handcuff, like we were talking about.
David
Yeah.
Johnson, you got him in getting him right now in the 7th round.
That's
You're-
right where he should be.
Yeah, but
Right where he should be.
He's one of those guys.
You're not going to be happy with David Johnson, but you're going to be happy enough with him in the 7th round to take it.
Yeah, he'll get enough carries.
Yeah, sure.
He'll
And
get
he'll get
carries.
enough catches too, depending on who's. I don't know, Merrill. Are you trying out for the Texans? 'Cause we do need. We have Tyrod Taylor, but we need a backup.
Tyrod.
Sorry, Tyrod Taylor.
Other guys on the wide receiver.
Bobby Trees.
on the
Still
wide.
I think I mentioned Jarvis Landry,
Yes.
obviously, because he's
That's a
gonna
good one.
Yeah, he's.
I
Great
like
on that.
I like Jameson Crowder.
Sure.
If you throw him in there, he's gonna
Robbie
do
Anderson.
something.
Tyler Boyd.
Robbie Anderson is a serviceable play. Marvin Jones is a serviceable.
And AB.
Yep.
Oh, of course, AB. It's how
AB is
far
gonna
the
get his
mighty
touches.
have fallen, right? There was a couple years ago you were drafted AB 1 overall, and then he opened.
You
his
know
mouth.
what? AB's a great one though, because
He
AB's
is.
one of those dudes.
He's definitely-
with
I think
his
he's a
talent
sleeper.
and
Add
his
him on that
rapport
sleeper
with
list.
Brady alone.
Yeah.
He's always going to get
Yeah.
at least 8 targets,
Yep.
no matter what the game plan
Yep.
is.
Right.
He's going to have those couple games a year where he just goes the fuck off.
Yep.
Here's a guy. Here's a guy. Emmanuel Sanders.
Manny.
Is he still playing for New Orleans?
He's
No,
playing for
Buffalo
Buffalo.
picked him up.
He's their
Oh.
number
Buffalo
2
picked
guy
him up.
right now.
Oh, it's because Cole Beasley.
He's their
No,
slot,
he's,
right?
No, Beasley's the slot.
so he's the
So
wide receiver
he's-
next to
he's-
Dick.
Goldilocks?
Is John Brown still there?
No,
He
John
left.
Brown's in Vegas.
Yeah, he's in
So Sanders took over
He hasn't
for
taken
Brown.
Ryan.
So
Sorry.
Manny.
So Sanders
I like him.
could have a big year.
I think I-
you know,
Buff-
Sanders could get 900, 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
You know, 6
When
to
they're
8
tripling
touchdown.
Diggs, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
certainly.
triple
And we're talking about again a reliable, serviceable veteran.
If y'all had a running back, you'd be a problem.
yeah,
Y'all
They
just
are
need
a
running
problem.
back for
I
sure.
Buffalo's
agree.
a problem.
Buffalo's
Without a
a
running
problem
back, they're not going to win
regardless.
the Super Bowl.
I
I
see.
loved the Sand. I'm glad you brought that up. I love the Sanders to Buffalo move. Honestly, Sanders has a sneaky amount left in the tank, and I think he's
He's
a
fast,
great
and he's
fit
got
in
good
Buffalo.
hands.
He's going to
Yeah.
be that security blanket.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but can he catch balls in sub-0 degree weather?
He'd be
Yeah,
just
he played
fine.
in
Don't worry about
Pittsburgh.
him.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
He played
Yeah, I
in
guess,
Pittsburgh,
but
and
I
he
hear it
was
gets cold up there, Clint.
exceptional in Pittsburgh.
It does
Yeah.
get cold up there.
It's almost the same climate.
Yeah.
All right, so let's.
Buffalo, Kansas City. Those
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
2 top
Please.
teams. With
That's what we're here for.
exception.
We're
If
here
you-
for the fun.
if you want, I remember one year I had, it's a couple years ago, I had the Patriots defense just cause. And
Of course
it was
you
the
did.
year that they scored 1 million points.
Oh, that
on
was
D.
good.
Yeah.
I
A lot of special
crushed
teams.
teams
Yeah.
with
Lot
the
of-
Patriots defense.
lot of
scored.
interception
They scored
returns.
like 20 points a game.
They had like
sometimes.
2 shutouts.
So
Yeah, I
if you
remember.
want, and you like fun fantasy names, there's some Young Ho in Atlanta. So this is Young Ho.
Wow.
That's told you that in confidence, man. So Young Ho Koo. Wow, way too soon. Do you know he averaged 11.2 points per game last year?
Didn't he kick for Notre Dame?
No.
Oh,
no.
seems like one of the guys that would.
They also had an Asian kicker,
Oh,
but
yeah.
not as good.
Sorry.
Young Ho Koo for the Falcons, 11.2 points per game last year.
Oh, I'm a believer.
If
in
your
kickers'
kicker puts
points.
up double
It's like-
digits a game,
That's like drafting Greg Zuerlein, Goskowski, whenever they were top
wait
of the
till
top.
one of the last rounds.
Yeah.
Don't
Adam
you want to
Vinatieri.
pick up easy points every
easy
week?
10 points.
Yeah, easy
Get
10
Greg
points
Zuerlein
every week,
still.
where
Shit.
you're not expecting to get it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, is Greg
Do
Anderson
you
still
know?
kicking?
Do you know who the number one overall kicker was last season? Jason Sanders of the Miami Dolphins.
Shut the fuck
yeah,
up.
so
I
who
can
gives
see
a
that.
shit about kickers?
Fuck is that guy?
Yeah. I hardly draft them.
It doesn't matter.
out later.
Dominic and I are
Don't
working
matter.
on a new.
Bust real quick.
Don't they have that
Who
at
we
the
got?
Chinese restaurant?
Yeah, that's some young guy. That's your
Oh,
favorite
it's a
food.
different one.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Bust in every category.
yeah. Bust. Who's gonna be a bust?
J.K. Dobbins. Sorry,
J.K. Dobbins.
Maryland.
Yeah.
I just
don't
don't.
thi-
I just believe
You have to be
for-
drafted really high to be a bust, right? Don't you?
Yeah, but he's second round. Go second round right now.
That's okay.
You don't think that's high?
I think it's a better game to who is a first round person that's going to be a bust.
Oh.
Yeah, who's a top guy who's going to be
All
a
right,
bust?
well, the list
like
here.
a starter that's going to be a bust.
Well,
Yeah.
Saquon, D-Hop, I wouldn't disagree with D-Hop
If
necessarily.
if
'cause
Saquon
he's not mentally in it right now.
if Saquon is healthy, he's not going to be a bust. If he
I don't know.
if he gets hurt, that's not a bust. That's an injury. That's a whole different story.
Miles
We're talking about
Sanders.
guys that just aren't going.
He's
to
not going
perform.
first round though.
First round. Okay.
Zeke Elliott.
Well, not yeah.
That's another good
That
one.
could be one.
Allen Robinson. He's not going first round.
He's not going
Julio.
first round.
Well, it's not first round overall.
Julio's not
Like,
going
the
first
fir-
round.
like the first wide receiver.
Anybody catching passes from Dolphins, Bears? I mean, when
No,
you got
none of those
quarterbacks that
guys
you
are
can't
going in the
count on.
first round.
Justin Herbert.
I don't see it, bro.
I mean, he's not going in
just
the
don't
first
see it.
round.
I
but
don't hate that.
I just don't see it. I just don't
not
see
go-
how he's bad.
He's
I
not
don't hate
going in
that.
the first round.
No, but he's like first round quarterbacks wise.
Yeah.
He could be one of these guys that's a flash in the pan, shines for. I don't think
mean,
so
you
either.
Yeah.
Like,
But he's
Ryan
probably
has never
more
flashed.
of the tier 1 people that we talked about at quarterback. He's probably the most likely to probably be a bust, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Can we agree
New
with that?
offense.
I'll
is
give.
tight
I'll
end.
give you. I'll give
No,
you.
I
that.
like that.
I don't think any running back in the top 6 is bustable. I just don't see it.
Unless they get hurt.
Unless
Zeke?
they get
Maybe
If he-
Jonathan Taylor.
A Taylor. I see
No,
it.
I don't think so.
Maybe Jonathan Taylor.
I don't think Jonathan Taylor. We'll
Maybe
just call him
maybe
JT.
Austin Eckler.
Oh
is-
no.
Yeah,
No,
maybe.
no.
He's a tier
Maybe.
1, tier 2
Maybe
guy.
Nick Chubb.
Who?
Maybe Nick Chubb.
No, he's been too consistent with Kareem Hunt. Like if
That was 1 year's
He was too
worth of
consistent.
service.
He's too
Yeah,
consistent.
I don't know. We'll see. On the wide receiver side,
I don't see anything that
you could see a Calvin Ridley regression
Yep.
because
He's the only one to throw to.
For the reason you said, he's no longer protected by another wide receiver.
I wouldn't predict it, but the logic is there.
No, because
Yeah.
he was the best against double teams last year in the NFL.
What if the
Yeah, but he's gonna
Vikings
get the number
defense
one
gets
guy.
better
Number
and
one guy.
Minnesota doesn't have to throw as much? Then Justin Jefferson could be a bust.
I don't. Yeah,
I don't see that either.
Because Minnesota was bad on
may have
He
defense.
still has
He
the
may have-
Thielen though.
He may have
has
some
But the
regression.
only reason he had the yards, they were down 20 points.
He may have some regression.
Yep.
But I don't think he's going to be a bust.
He's not repeating what he did last year.
Evans?
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Evans
Brady.
isn't being drafted that high.
No, but
He's going to catch 10,
yeah, he's
10
gonna
touchdowns.
catch 10 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You can't be upset about
Yeah,
that. at
even
all.
if you have 500 yards,
The only,
you give me 13
reason,
touchdowns.
the only reason he's going to really regress all that much is because maybe AB takes a bigger role.
Right. That's why I
So
mentioned that.
I want to.
And,
I
and
want
the last thing I want to just do some flyers.
Yeah,
Like
to see,
late
that's what
late
Dominic
round
was excited
late round guys who, if they get in the right position, they could really they have a super high ceiling, but their floor doesn't exist. Right? They could do nothing, or they could be great.
Yep.
I would put T Higgins on that.
Claypool.
I have Higgins.
I know you do.
Yeah,
I would say Higgins is on that because he's the number 3 wide receiver down there.
I've
got
got him
Chase
as
Claypool on
as a draftable starter.
I understand
don't see
that.
that as a flyer.
To me, okay, first of all, are 3 Bengals receivers going to be drafted? That's your first question. And
Yes,
if,
maybe.
Higgins would be the 3rd
I don't know.
because Tyler Boyd's the number 1 wide receiver there, and everybody's sexy on Jamar Chase. So I don't know, man. I love T Higgins because I had him last year. Dude had 880 yards, like 10 touchdowns, and I'm a fan.
So here's a couple of guys. Xavier Jones. I mentioned this to you the other. Yes. Who the hell's running the ball?
Anybody know this?
Anybody?
Anybody know who Xavier Jones is?
I actually was hoping someone's going to fill.
Anybody?
No,
Okay.
not
Bueller?
Who's running the ball in
LA?
In LA?
Xavier Jones is the
they're
backup.
gonna
He's the
make
next guy up,
the next guy
but
up.
he's
No,
but
no,
he's
no.
hurt
He's from-
already, and he's always hurt.
They're going to make a trade.
Xavier,
did you
but
have-
Xavier
we
Jones
found
is
out
there.
yesterday.
He's a guy that's there
Well,
now.
Ryan needs to know the information.
And
that
he's
I
a
just told
second-
Merrill.
What's that?
Daryl Henderson's on the IR. Cam
Yeah.
Akers tore his ACL last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know.
So, but Daryl Henderson is on the IR.
Yeah.
And so he's the backup. And so
Yeah.
he's the starter, but he's on the IR.
Xavier Jones is a guy that
right.
nobody's even looking at.
Because nobody knows who
If
the fuck
you're
that
if
is.
you're in
He's
the
bouncer
if you're in the
at-
14th round, and
Yes.
you're looking for a
Right.
guy with just pure high upside, take
Yeah.
a flyer on the
Agreed.
guy
For
who
sure.
might be the
Agreed.
starter
Agreed.
for the Rams.
So,
And that's
yeah.
great to say now
Yep.
before August
Exactly.
hits.
That's why we're having this
I
podcast.
really want to.
But I want to know who Xavier Jones is, because if they don't sign anybody,
Yeah, they have to sign somebody.
No. Yeah, based on
we're
They
sitting
have to
here
sign
as
somebody.
our armchair GM saying they have to sign
They
somebody.
have to
But
sign
if they
somebody.
don't, this is a guy
if they don't, they're
that could
fucking
be a great
stupid.
They're
position.
fucking stupid. You're right.
They, well,
There's too many people
Agreed.
that you can,
maybe
that you can do this.
but maybe they think that they're getting value at the running back position,
Mm-hmm.
that they've got a lot of talent in their other skill positions.
Which they do.
They've
which
got
they do.
Matt Stafford, so
And
they
they have
can
an
throw the
incredible-
ball all over the place.
Incredible
Right.
defense.
And Tim McVay
Tim
Tim
McVay?
McVay.
Whoa.
Yeah, I just had a total Freudian slip there. I'm blowing up right now.
So there's already
All right,
rumors.
all the eighth graders that were giggling about the dick in the mouth jokes are like completely confused right
What
now.
is Tim McVay?
You just Google it.
Google
fuck
it.
faces.
Yeah.
All right.
He made a lot of
All right.
noise.
Oh.
Anyway,
On that note
Here are
about
we,
the
folks.
Rams running back,
Yeah.
there's already, and these are light rumors, but there's already light rumors that the Rams might be looking at kicking the tires on
Todd
Sony
Gurley?
Michel. A possible trade for him. You could get him on the cheap out of
Yeah.
New England, and if
Yeah.
that happens, I'd
mean,
be
sure.
Get
big
him an
Sony.
8th round pick and a
I'm
box
so-
of rocks.
So, but I'm just.
Well, what about,
shows to LA?
It could be.
Michelle?
I don't
Okay.
disagree.
All right. Well,
How about
I mean,
I got a guy who's a sleeper who I think
Yeah.
would be pretty solid. How about Traquan Smith
okay.
with
New
no
Orleans?
Michael
Yeah,
Thomas?
sure. He should always be on that list, right?
Yeah.
Because dude is super quick.
There's a bunch of them I like at wide
He had some
receiver.
really
I
good-
already mentioned
really
you could
good
take a
games.
flyer on
Manny Sanders.
Deshaun Jackson.
Manny Sanders, yeah.
Mike Williams
Chase Claypool,
Yeah.
Mike Williams,
is a potential good guy to take a flyer on.
Mike
Michael
Williams
Pittman
made it.
in
Jamal Williams
Indianapolis.
in Detroit, running back,
Yeah.
flyer,
Jamal Williams.
Ty, flyer,
Gabriel Davis in Buffalo.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
especially if Cole Beasley gets cut, which is
Right.
possible with this whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they're gonna cut Josh Allen. No.
But what they're gonna do is they're gonna cut a high profile guy that they
Okay.
don't necessarily need
Cole Beasley.
to turn
To prove a point.
to prove a point and
Okay.
say to everybody,
I
get
got
your
it.
shit together and get
Pats
fucking
pick him up
vaccinated.
instantly.
All right. So hey,
Of course, he's white and he's small.
So
Yeah.
we have a half an hour before we need to wrap up.
All right.
And we have some things that you wanted to get through. So
Yes.
first of all, Dominic has a very important question for everybody, and
right.
we're gonna make this just a quick explanation so everybody knows because we all have very different draft philosophies. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll go first
Yep.
because mine is the most simple and uneducated.
Sure.
Okay. I really draft from my gut. I have 4 championships, so I think it's doing okay so far. I don't draft my favorite team and whatnot necessarily until the homer pick in the Mr. Irrelevant last round. But
Yeah.
sometimes I do draft a trade, like we were
Yeah.
talking about earlier. So if you already have, for example, an Aaron Rodgers or a Josh Allen, and
Yeah.
you can draft an Aaron Rodgers for some odd reason
Yeah.
in like the 7th or 8th round, and you already have other guys,
Sure.
right? Or you can draft a Matt Ryan in the 11th or 12th round and still be
Mm-hmm.
serviceable. As we went over the comparisons, there's not that much of a huge difference. And you so let's say you're low, like you don't get a running back that you want, or you don't
Yeah.
get a wide receiver that you want. You're weak wide receiver 2 or you're weak RB2, and you're like, hey, shit, well, Aaron Rodgers is sitting here or whatever, and I have Matt Ryan already too. It's like, or I could draft Matt Ryan in a couple rounds. Why not draft a great quarterback? See if I can trade him for a running back or a wide receiver that I actually need. So just depending on how the draft is going for me,
Yeah.
that's some of what I do.
So, gut and draft a trade.
Yeah, and I have a list and shit. And I have a list of people, like, targets that I would like to have. You know, everybody wants to have Travis Kelce and Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, shit, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
So you obviously have a list, but you start crossing shit off pretty quickly. Especially like this year, we have a 12-team league of very veteran fantasy football players, and I have the 8th pick and I'm not thrilled about it. So I'm really concerned about what's going to happen. I'd rather have the 8th pick than the 5th or 6th pick. So I'd rather be first 3, last 3. And then,
Gotcha.
And so 5 to 8 is really shitty for me.
All right, what
Really
about you?
shitty.
What's your
Yeah, I was
draft
thinking about
philosophy?
this. A couple things. So I always believe in waiting on QB. I don't want to be the first person to draft a QB, but I don't want to be the last.
Damn
So
right.
that's the way I think about it.
you're
I don't draft kickers.
Okay.
I don't worry about defense either. I'm not going to be the first one to grab a defense, so I won't be the last.
Okay, so hold on. On Ryan's point with kickers, defenses are the same way. If you would have drafted Pittsburgh's defense last year, that's an easy 15 points a week. Easy 15.
Yeah, but you
I
don't
have
know
a better
that. That's why I don't worry about it. So when all the good
talk to you in a
defenses go, I don't really think about it too much. So when there's a run
You
on
can-
defense,
You can stream defenses too.
Yeah.
No, you definitely
That's
should
why-
get 6 or 7 or
just
8
don't
points
don't
instead
be
of
the
15.
first and don't be the last.
So
is the way.
just like figure out who's either playing the Jets or the
Correct.
Titans.
Correct.
Jets.
And
Texans,
and
yeah.
if either one of those are available, you pick them up on the waiver wire
Absolutely.
and you slot them in.
So I'm just going to
Correct.
draft the
Yeah.
Colts and just
Yeah.
wait for them.
And
to
then
get
my
Texans.
last thing is I'm always like best player available.
Is
So
that by
like that's why we were
ADP
saying before.
or by top
It,
200?
just
What are you
my
doing?
in my mind,
Okay.
if I have in a lot of drafts, if he's available, if I'm picking at 6 or 7, 8, like you're talking about, Clint, there's no way I would not draft
Kelsey.
Travis Kelce.
Right,
Yeah,
sure.
it just wouldn't.
So if Kelsey is there when I draft, he's going to be drafted.
Right. So don't try to like make your little perfect team.
Yeah.
Just get the best. If you already have a great wide receiver, but then
'Cause you
there's
can get a Mike
another
Davis in the
great
6th
wide
round.
receiver that's available
Sure.
versus running back that's replaceable,
Sure.
then
Like you can get a Mike Davis in the 12th.
it's okay
in
to
the
have
5th or
2
6th.
stud wide receivers before you get a running back. You don't have
Absolutely.
to. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way
Well,
if you need
and
to get
also
stud running
you
back.
can just do running backs the next 4 rounds, which was explained when we were doing that. Hey, who's this guy, right?
Yep.
Because those guys all finished really close together.
Yep.
And their draft positions, there's a
Huge difference.
Yeah, wide
But see,
receiver's so deep.
But with Kelsey, going into the week, you're like, okay, number 1, this
Yep.
matchup is done. I'm winning this matchup by 10 points.
I would take him at 6.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even think about it.
I completely
Wouldn't even think about it.
I agree with that. All right, Ryan, what you got?
So my thing is always stats driven. So I stay away from names unless it's obvious ones, right? I don't like to take a tight end too early unless I know I can get Travis Kelce. If your tight end scores 10, 15 points a week and mine scores 25,
20,
30,
yeah.
that's a huge advantage
Very
every
big
week
advantage.
for me, right?
Right.
Very
Wide
big.
receivers, it's easy. Make sure you get a damn good wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
But wide receiver 2s, you can figure that out on the men.
There's a
sometimes.
million of them. Like Merrill
They
So-
value your positions, right? And
Russell
so
Gage,
I
right,
also
not being
spoke
drafted.
about Young Hoku, the kicker for the Falcons, scoring 11 points. Don't race out. Don't worry about drafting your kicker.
Don't even
However,
draft one.
last
draft
pick.
one.
Last pick. I
Maybe
always take
last
a kicker.
pick.
And
Unless you can Devontae
I
Williams
always
or
look
something
for
like that.
guys that I know no one's gonna think about. Young Hoku, no one's gonna think about him.
Yeah.
11.2 points per week. Your kicker, dude. Last pick, take that, please. Defense, like you said, I actually never drafted defense. I always look at the top 5 or the worst
Top
5
5?
off. Yeah, that's 4. Worst 5 offenses
Of
in
course,
the league, and
of
I
course.
always pick the defense that's playing the worst one
That makes sense.
available. And I
What I
put
said.
every
Yeah.
streaming,
exactly.
I mean, it
what you
makes
said.
sense.
streaming against the
And
offense.
that is
Right.
the absolute way to go when
And-
you're talking about position players.
And
Yeah,
the
let
same
somebody
thing-
else draft all those
Exactly.
San Francisco's.
Exactly. That's a
And,
wasted
Pittsburgh.
pick.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
The other thing is, people like to write. Another reason why I forgot to put Mahomes in my top 5 for QBs. I don't even consider Mahomes. Mahomes would be the first QB off the board.
Yep.
Quarterbacks score a shit ton of points anyways. Make sure you have steady,
the little exercise we
steady
did.
players at every
Right.
position.
Hence
right?
the exercise we did. That's what that was for.
If I don't get Mahomes, but I still get Josh
Stafford.
Allen, I'm balling
Yeah.
my ass off
Right.
at quarterback
Sure.
anyways.
Or shit, if you get a Stafford, then you probably have a Calvin Ridley instead of a Josh
I
Allen.
make sure that I stay away from feast or famine or boom or bust players, right?
Sure.
If you got a guy that can score you 37
Henry
points one
Ruggs
week,
is
but he
Tyler
scores 2
Lockett.
the
Tyler
next,
Lockett, right.
that's a bad pick. I
no,
don't care what anybody says.
You're not wrong.
So
You're
make
not
sure
wrong.
you have guys that are serviceable as fuck at every position. Make sure you got 3 or 4 guys, if you can do it, that are killers.
All right, so Dom, yours is more
Yeah,
involved.
mine's probably the most complicated. So
really
I'm a value-based drafting guy,
really is.
and what that means is I'm going to figure out what I think somebody's stats are going to be for the entire season.
Means you draft Tyler Higbee in the 3rd round.
And listen, and I look at for my league, what is the difference between that player and the last player that is a potential starter at that position. So in our league, we've got 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers. So I'm looking at the person I'm trying to draft versus who is the 24th rated player. That's
Right.
the last starter.
Exactly.
Right.
That is, and everything else beyond that is replacement level.
Points above that
So
person.
points above replacement level.
Right.
That's the only way that I've figured out to determine the value of a player versus somebody else at another position.
I get
Because
it.
you could look at quarterback. Quarterback's going to score the most points of any position because they have the ball in their hand every single
time.
play,
Correct.
right? So what is the value of the top quarterback versus one of the top wide
Exactly.
receivers or running backs? So you
Josh
have to
Allen was the
figure-
top quarterback,
You
by the
have
way.
to figure that out. Yeah, for me, Josh Allen was the top
He
quarterback.
was the top quarterback on that
He
list.
was the top quarterback on that list. But for me, also, he's the 19th overall draft pick because there are so many more players ahead of him when it comes to replacement level, because you have wide receivers and running backs where the replacement level is the 24th best player versus replacement level at quarterback being the 12th best player because you're only starting one of them. It completely changes into quarterback leagues and things
Of
like
course.
that,
Yeah.
where quarterback becomes the most valuable position.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I look at that, and then I also look at average draft position because there's certain things that happen inside of value-based drafting that is so different than what everybody else is going to do that you can actually get huge amount of value on your board
Right.
by figuring out the difference between what the average draft position is and where you would actually have been willing to take them, such as I've got Travis Kelce as my number 6 overall value on my board.
That's about right.
But then number 7 and number 8, I've got Kittle and Waller right behind them
Sure.
in the first round.
Right.
Would it be weird for me to take them in the first round?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Except
Are
for
they a
Kelce.
first round value? Absolutely.
100%.
So if they're going in the third and I take them in the second, I got 2 first round picks because I waited on them. I got 2 first round picks versus value because the idea is, how am I going to get the most points across my starting lineup
Right.
on a week-to-week basis?
Right.
Yep.
So that's what I'm looking at, and that's how I draft. Here's
That
a
is
couple
so
of
much-
So
questions.
you're more about having a lot of high floor people versus high ceiling.
No.
No.
I want
My philosophy.
so in
High floor?
in my starting lineup, I want the
High
best
ceiling.
players available
High ceiling.
across it.
Okay.
When I get past my starting line, this is how I draft.
Gotcha.
I draft for highest ceiling. And I don't mean
So your
highest
bench
ceiling.
is
I want upside
on the
in
bench.
everybody who's not one of my starters.
Gotcha.
Okay? So I never drafted a Frank Gore. Okay? I understand he's steady Eddie, but I'd rather draft a second-year guy that could end up
Like a James Robinson.
being
Right.
a number one at their position, but then also could not play at all, right? Then get somebody who's going to get you 8 points a game. That's just how I like to draft,
Gotcha.
right? I'm only going to draft if I end up getting one of my top quarterbacks. I'm only drafting one quarterback because that's who I'm playing every single game.
Okay.
If it ends up that I have to take one of my lower ranked quarterbacks, then I'm gonna try to go quarterback and stream those guys. So it just
Quarterback's such an
depends.
easy.
It depends on how the draft ends up going,
Right.
as to whether or not
It's a
I'm
lot of
drafting
numbers,
two,
Merrill. A lot of thinking.
whether or not I'm
It
drafting
is.
2 quarterbacks or just one
Effective.
quarterback.
Yeah. Because I drafted
But-
Aaron Rodgers last year late. I had Kyler Murray, and in another league, I had Josh Allen. But because Rodgers was just sitting there in 10, 11, 12, I was like, I got to take him. So there were some weeks where I was like, oh my God, I'm not playing Murray against
That
somebody
just-
who's they're going
but-
to struggle.
But what I would have done in that situation,
And I thought
is
I might be
would
able to
have
trade
just
him.
I would have
Yeah.
just kept taking
Exactly.
running backs and wide receivers, running backs and wide receivers all the way through the rest of the draft.
Yeah.
Because you're only going to start one tight end. You're only going to start one quarterback. If you got them high enough, then you can pick up a guy during the bye week
Yeah.
and figure it out.
But it
then
sure
the
was
rest of-
nice to throw Aaron
but-
Rodgers out there when I
but-
thought Murray was
Oh,
going to
right.
suck.
Shit.
But you have,
And
but
it
you,
really helped me. You're not going to have a
everybody
drop
was
like
down
that.
on
No.
Aaron Rodgers last
Yeah, I know.
season
Yeah.
for
Haven't
a
dropped like
number
that
of
this year.
reasons. He's not dropping like
You ain't
that.
getting
There's
one today this
nobody.
year.
There's nobody like that
nobody
this
who's
year.
not going to be drafted
No, I
like
don't
that
think
this
so.
year. One
I
draft
agree.
philosophy question that I do have, I want to get people's opinions on. What is your opinion on drafting quarterback, wide receiver
I love the
combo?
tandems. I love the tandems.
Yes.
I've always been
Love
a fan
it.
of that.
'Cause-
Always.
'cause
always.
there's-
You can
so-
double dip on points.
So double
Always.
dip on points.
Yes, for sure.
However,
You also double dip on shit.
Exactly.
I get that.
Exactly.
But
so
see, it's,
again, that's a high ceiling.
you got to pick
That's
the right ones,
that's
though,
that's
Dom.
but that's a high upside.
like, okay, so for example, would I want Daniel Jones and Kenny Galladay?
You would never- no,
I would not.
no,
would
no,
I want
no.
Patrick
But you'll
Mahomes
take Josh Allen and
Tyreek
Stephon
Hill?
Diggs all day long.
Fuck yes.
Deshaun
Yeah,
Watson
yes.
and D-Hop back
Yeah.
in the day. That's
Yeah.
a killer.
Yeah,
Yes.
take Kyler Murray and D-Hop. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yes.
another good
So,
one.
but are
Yes.
you going to take Trevor Lawrence and Laviska
No,
Shenault?
no,
Right,
no,
exactly.
no,
so you're not
no,
going
no.
to do
but
those.
I don't. I'm not even sure.
do it on
if they're-
DraftKings.
Like maybe you have Bobby Trees and Matt Stafford.
Yeah, I
this
take
year.
that. I take that.
That would be
I
a
take that.
possible combination because a lot of those
Yeah.
other combinations
Matt
they're
Ryan
going to do
a
that.
second.
That could happen naturally.
Yeah.
I would
The
take
other
Matt
ones
Ryan.
you have to almost try to orchestrate
See,
it.
Calvin
Yeah.
Ridley and Matt Ryan would happen naturally
Probably.
because you don't have to draft Ryan until
You
the
don't have
second
to-
round or so.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you have to draft
Yep.
Ridley super early.
Sure.
So if you're sitting there on Ridley as your first pick,
You just wait.
You know, and you're like,
Just wait to round 10 and get
Yeah.
Joe Ryan.
That's
You know,
another
give
great
me
philosophy
Matt
to have
Ryan.
in your back
oh,
pocket
and
to pull
I've
extra
always
points out
loved
of your
that.
ass.
All right,
Yeah.
so because we are on a time crunch, let's move from draft philosophy to draft etiquette. Now, Kamish,
Yeah.
Let's go to you first on this.
All right.
Give me some draft etiquette. Because
I don't know.
Merrill when it comes to
Yeah.
time, Merrill is, yo.
I like
you
to start
ready,
on
bro?
time.
Like,
I am a
Like,
big.
and also, you have 60 seconds to make a pick.
I would
Don't
like
be
to
an
do
asshole,
that. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Don't get
Start
anytime.
on time.
Start
Yeah.
on time is number one.
And
Pay
pay
attention.
attention.
Those
That's
are
the big. I think the
Dominic's
big thing
top
is just
two.
like the time thing I can live with because sometimes life, whatever. But pay attention. I hate the person who's in the 7th round and they say, "Did somebody take Kittle?" I
They
hate
took
that.
Kittle for.
Stand that.
I punish people.
Oh,
When I'm
really?
the commissioner, you know
Yeah.
what I do? Because I usually have my draft at a bar. Mm-hmm. If you are not paying attention,
drink.
and not only do you buy that person a drink, you buy the entire league around.
yeah.
Pay
Pay
fuck
attention.
attention
Let's do that.
or pay the tab.
Right.
Pay
Pay
the
the
attention.
fucking tab.
I like
Yeah,
it. I
because
like
it's
it.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
like
it is.
yeah.
It's for all you 8th graders that are
Keep
listening.
up. Most of the time when you're doing the
Yeah,
draft,
children.
especially one of those live ones, you can see who's
Yeah,
been drafted on the board.
absolutely.
Yep.
Look now,
Or
of
you're
course,
putting stickers and shit.
in this era
Fucking
that
great.
people are still, I'm not a big fan of doing the Yahoo draft
No,
online.
hate
I
that.
like to do it in person.
I want it in person.
Put my sticker
But we
on a
sometimes
board.
we do have people on Zoom,
Yeah.
so you know, but
COVID.
still pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay attention.
attention.
You like have a list, mark them off.
Pay
period.
attention.
Yeah,
Right.
pay attention.
So
What about drafting somebody who's hurt?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
people do that all the time because
Yeah.
they just
Let them do it.
Let 'em do it.
Let 'em do
because
it.
because they didn't follow what I think is the next most important thing about a draft.
Be prepared.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't
Tell
on
them
the
after
way
they
to
write
the
it down.
draft. Go get a damn fantasy football magazine and go.
Or print up a fucking list.
TJ, how's Majuja?
Maybe I need to write that into our constitution because we do have a constitution in
Yeah.
my
Yes, we
in
do.
my league.
Be prepared.
So I need to put that
for
in
sure.
there.
All right.
One last one,
Yeah.
and even though it's not number one, it's number one with a bullet.
In your heart.
Yeah, don't
Ha-
be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
That's number one. That should
Don't
be
be a
number
dick.
one.
Can I
Right.
get
Lead with
an
that.
example of being a dick?
Not being prepared.
Pay your fucking money.
Pay your
money.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole.
Bring your money to the draft.
Yeah.
You knew it was due.
Yeah.
And if
Oh,
you can't
oh.
afford it, you probably shouldn't play.
You're gonna one of Dominic's main things is the guy.
No, hold on. That's it. I'm
Bring
getting
the
to that.
fucking trophy.
I'm
If
getting-
you have the
Yes,
trophy,
bring the fucking
bring the
trophy.
damn
But
trophy.
this is a good one, Meryl. You'll enjoy it.
All right,
What
here
I
it
was
is.
about to say.
All right. So this is a segment that we do from time to time.
Yeah.
And it's been a little bit since we've done this.
I'm too old for this.
I'm too old for this shit. Cue the drop. And go.
Raj, meet your new partner.
All right, so I'm too old for shit. It's my opportunity to rant about shit that I'm sick of, that I'm tired of, that I wish
too
would
old for.
stop and needs to stop, or I'm gonna knock somebody upside their head. And the first one is, I'm too old for the "that was my guy"
Right.
because that guy does that be
Right.
like everybody was gonna draft that guy.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up and get ready to draft your guy.
Yeah, have
'Cause it's
two
not
people
your
at
guy,
three
my
mine.
guy. That's
Right.
the point of a draft.
Yeah, yeah,
Just shut up about
yeah.
it.
That's,
Yeah.
that's how it works.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
next pick.
when you get to about third round, that's when that starts, right? When people
Yeah.
start that bullshit.
They
Yeah.
started in
Absolutely.
the first round.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
the guy who's like drafting 10th, and somebody picks. They pick McCaffrey, and he's like, "Oh, I was gonna draft that guy." No, you were number 10, and you knew it.
Yeah.
He was not getting to you.
Yeah.
Shut
I'll
up.
never draft him.
We're all
Yeah.
drafting McCaffrey.
I
Let's
know.
just get that out of the way.
That's funny.
Here's,
That's a good
here's
one.
another one that I'm too old for. Getting
Okay.
beat by a damn defense.
Oh yeah.
You're up, and you know that
We've all been there.
That's
Step for,
like
man.
you're
That's
coming into Minnesota
sack
versus
or-
Detroit, and for whatever reason, they've got Detroit's defense.
half a
There's
sack.
17 interceptions.
I've beaten some people.
At, like
deal
on
with
Monday night,
that nonsense.
you win by 10th of a point before you
Might
go to
catch me
bed.
beating you with a butt fumble.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Hey, it's happened, and I'm sure it happened that day.
Yeah,
Sanchez
those are bad
came
beats.
up.
I love it when
Yeah.
you're on the good end of it.
Yeah, it's great when you're on the good end.
Of course.
It. I was almost beat by my own quarterback one day. Like I had Rex Grossman, and
That
I
was
was
your
up by
first fucking
12.
problem.
Okay.
I was up by 12, and he got me -8.
Yeah.
Here's the next one. And I am too old for people not setting their damn lineup.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Dude,
Yeah, man.
Don't be that
You're
guy.
in
either.
the league.
Okay, so don't be a dick, Ryan.
Keep
That's your dick.
playing.
That's your
Yeah.
dickness.
Play
No,
to the
I always
last
said-
game.
No, I'm
Set
saying
your
that's
lineup.
your
Do
example.
your best, because what you're doing is you're fucking over other people that are actually competitive.
Correct.
Because if you stop setting your lineup and you've got 5 or 6 hurt guys, you're giving somebody a victory.
Yep.
You're changing the position of what's going on to the rest of the league. You may cost somebody a playoff spot, and that's just shit, man.
Yeah.
Set your lineup.
Teams do that too.
We
for the
do
playoffs.
have people in our league that are like the bye weeks or dealing with the COVID stuff is like too frustrating. So if it was a week they had 3 or 4
Perfect
people on
segue.
bye, they'll be like, you know what, I'm not dealing with it because I don't want to let somebody go. 'Cause
Perfect
we have
segue.
shallow benches.
Yeah, shallow
And-
benches.
yeah.
But perfect segue
Yeah.
to what you want to talk about.
I got one more before we talk about that. I am too old for the trade snake. Do you know what the trade snake
No.
is? He's the guy. Oh no,
Okay.
he's the guy who every single week sends every person in the
trade.
league a ridiculous trade
It's
offer.
Right, he's Ryan
You know,
Orchard
I'll give you.
true.
I'll give you my 3 bench wide receivers
He
for
knows
Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
Yeah.
Like every single week. Yeah,
Who the fuck
I've
is this
never
guy?
been in a league where I didn't have somebody offer me a ridiculous
Oh, yeah.
trade, and you're just like,
Gardner Minshew for Dak Prescott.
like what? Fuck
And then
off.
they argue,
Yeah.
like,
You think
why-
I'm that
why you're
stupid?
actually the
Or do you
winner
think
on
I
this
don't
deal?
care? Or do you what?
Or you think the
what-
rest of the league is going to approve that?
Yeah,
Like, you know.
regardless, like
think
don't
that-
don't do. But it doesn't get past you, so the rest of the league doesn't hear about it. That shit goes on.
It
And
does.
I am sick of it. Just stop.
Stop it.
Stop. It's not happening. Just don't.
Agreed.
The last thing that I am too old for. I am too old for these fucking morons
Yep.
who are out there getting paid millions of dollars
Yep.
to play in the NFL that are getting their brains beat in and week out,
Right.
getting CTE and everything else, but they're afraid to get the goddamn fucking vaccine. Get the fucking Cole Beasley, motherfucker,
Josh
get
Allen.
the goddamn vaccine. Josh
D-Hop.
Allen, get D-Hop,
Get
get
the
the fucking vaccine. All of you guys, get the vaccine.
Here's something about the vaccine too. I remember when people didn't want to wear fucking masks. People
Yeah.
were like, well, I'm not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
It's my right. Dude, you're not wearing, I don't care if I get it. You're not wearing the mask to protect you,
Right.
you stupid fuck.
People don't care
You're
about other people, though,
You're
right?
wearing that
That's-
mask to
that's
protect
exactly right.
me.
Yeah, but people
Same
don't care
thing
about
with
that.
the fucking vaccine.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, here's the thing: is these guys are public figures,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
They influence other people,
Yeah.
right? Your selfishness is convincing other people that their decision not to
Right.
get the vaccine, they feel justified by doing it,
Right.
so they don't.
Yep.
You're harming public health.
Yep.
You're harming potentially yourself.
Yep.
You're harming people that you care for.
Yep.
You're harming your team.
Yep. Oh yeah, for
Because
sure.
now that there's all of these protocols where not only are you more likely to miss a game and make your team less competitive, but if you start an outbreak in your team, then you may
Yep.
cause your team to forfeit.
Fine, and you'll be fine.
You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The,
I
the,
agree.
the team is going to be, everybody is going to dock their pay for that game.
Yep.
And the other team that you forfeit to,
They lose theirs too.
They don't lose their pay.
They
It's
just
the responsibility of your team's ownership
to pay.
to pay their salaries.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fuck.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
Holy shit.
shit.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah. They
Now
just-
that's the case. I can see owners and GMs saying, we're going to go ahead and say, fuck that shit. I don't care how good
You're
you
getting
think
the
you
vaccine
are.
or you're not playing.
You're getting the vaccine.
Yeah, or you're not playing.
Or
You just don't play.
Or you're getting
Yeah.
cut.
The
You're
league
getting
is-
Yeah, because
cut.
I'm all about personal response. So I do
Those
wish
are the rules.
I do wish people would think about others with the vaccine. But if a player decides that he doesn't want to do that, then he probably just shouldn't play. Just
Right.
sit the whole year
Or
out.
just sit
I'd be
out.
more
Well,
comfortable with
D-Hop
that.
said that.
Yeah,
He said
sit
he's
out.
questioning my.
And I'm not mad at him for that because
No,
he is an
that's his
independent
decision.
contractor.
Right.
Yep.
We're not
That's
in
a good
high
way to look
school.
at it.
We're not in college.
That's
A lot of these
fine.
guys
Look
are
at
playing for themselves. They're not playing for the team,
Right.
which is fine because you're an independent contractor
If
and
that's
it's a
what
job.
You,
Way to
if
think
that's
about
what you want to do,
Yeah,
though,
that's
It's
fine.
stay home.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't play.
For
I
sure.
agree.
There are other
But
people. There are other people that
but people will be mad at him for not playing for some weird reason,
Well,
right?
he's the
I
best
mean,
player they got.
but those people should be mad that he's got his brain so damn scrambled that he doesn't want to take the damn vaccine. So,
Right.
What were you gonna
regardless,
say, Ryan, before we move on?
I wanted.
No, I was just gonna say I don't think there's always someone out there that doesn't really apply to what you're talking about. For the 2% of people that are actually choosing to not get the vaccine, and they have a legitimate reason, right? Someone that has the obscure health condition and
Well,
they're
that's
worried
not
about the
choosing.
effects.
They can't get the vaccine.
Or someone that's trying to get pregnant and they're worried about fertility.
Correct.
Whatever it
100%.
is, right? I'm with that. But for the average dude that I think makes up the bulk of the people that aren't getting it with just the tinfoil hat on,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree 100.
Just don't play.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
With the dick that was in your mouth.
Yeah, just don't
Fuck
play.
them.
Exactly, Ryan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
AIDS dick.
Yes.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if they're independent contractors, they're entertaining us, and if they don't want to entertain, that's fine.
Then
Yeah.
fine.
Stay
Then that's
home.
what- that's
Somebody
just
else
what
will
you-
take that
that's what you
roster
choose to
spot
do.
gladly. They'll take that paycheck and they'll get on the field and play.
Yeah.
And maybe they play great. Maybe they just needed that opportunity to get that big name off
Right.
there. so
In
that they
D
can
Hop's
get out.
case, like that's not gonna happen, but
Well,
but
some
for,
people,
but
I
for a
mean-
lot of people.
All right.
So I'm going to give you a list of the guys, and then I want to talk a little bit about how that impacts.
Okay, because we got like a couple of minutes.
Oh.
And I have to dip.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got Cole Beasley and Hopkins, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen.
Sam Darnold, really?
Yeah, is a definite no. Jalen Richard,
He's a
definite
no.
no. Here's guys who
Jalen
declined.
Richard.
Here's guys who
Who cares?
declined to answer
Talk about it,
whether
okay.
or not they're vaccinated, which means to me they're not vaccinated.
Which means they're not vaccinated.
Right. Christian McCaffrey,
Oh, okay.
Tell me you're not vaccinated.
Kirk Cousins.
without
Vaccinated.
Kirk
vaccinating.
Cousins. Okay. Okay.
Zach Wilson.
Wow. I can see that. Yep. I
you
get
can
that.
definitely see that one.
I get
That's,
that.
He's not
that's-
allowed to watch R-rated movies.
That's
let alone-
yeah, that's going to impact how we as fantasy owners have to look at how we draft.
Yep.
You know,
100%.
Does that mean you move somebody else up above D Hop? Because
Yes.
he's not going to get
You have to,
vaccinated.
that's
Yes.
why I moved Calvin Ridley above D-Hop.
Yeah.
I think you have to.
Yeah, I think so.
Does that mean
Because you never
maybe
know.
somebody else goes ahead of CMC if you don't think he's
Yeah.
vaccinated?
Henry,
Boy.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See?
well, you put them in the category on their own, yeah, so.
Yeah, if you think CMC is going to score more points, but then you look at it and go, maybe he misses a game or two, or maybe he's just out because of COVID. Are you taking Henry ahead of him?
Yeah.
And how do you manage it during the season?
Gosh, the PPR thing just kills me. It's like, how do
Yeah.
you not take Kamara over Derrick Henry, but how do you not take Derrick Henry?
Can't overthink the PPR. The running back.
Well, Kamara
Yeah.
catch 100 passes.
And it's so much smoke. It's going to be so much controversy. So there's a person who's not gotten the vaccine yet, and they don't want to hear about it. They may just decide not to play. So if McCaffrey decides I'm not going to get it, and it's going to be a bunch of hubbub,
It's going to be a bunch of
he may just say, you know what, I'm done.
Because can you imagine Gettleman, for example?
He's got his money.
Having to fucking pay somebody else's salary.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's billionaires don't like to waste their money.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I wouldn't
So-
play. I wouldn't play.
Yeah, billionaires don't like to waste their
If I'm
money.
Christian McCaffrey, I just wouldn't play.
All right, so I'm going to make time for one of these fun segments. Which one do you
Yeah.
want to do? Do you want to do the top chode punishments? Or top chode punishments?
Sure, funny.
Oh, okay, so let's do. Anybody got any funny ones that they've thought of? Ryan, you're the imaginative one with all that.
Man, no, I'm usually the one that,
And by
that
the-
ends
by
up
ch-
having to do these damn things.
By
Actually,
chode
you're
punishment, you mean the prize you get for finishing in last.
Now I've never finished in last,
Yeah.
so I don't never get that. But I think it was just the other day, last night, Clint. We were going back and forth about punishment for I forgot what it was. I was gonna have to chug a carton of chocolate milk on the 9th hole on the hottest day on our next golf trip.
Milk was
So-
a bad choice.
Right.
No, but I don't. We've never had a chode. No, in our league in Hoofnagel.
It's a bunch of old dudes.
We-
We're all.
I
But
think,
I
think
Yeah.
that the loser of the league gets and
I
has
think-
to keep.
I think
Yeah.
the chode punishment is really great to get people to set their lineups. So like the
Right.
tattoo.
Oh man.
like the league. Yeah, like the
Tattoo.
league.
That's
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
much.
Dude, that's such a good show.
Yeah.
That's
I've never been in a
Tattoo would
league.
be a lot.
I just never been in a
Tattoo
league
is
where
a
people
lot.
had the personalities where they would actually do it.
What,
Now,
the
no,
tattoo?
in my 20s,
Yeah.
maybe like Swan, back in like Swan 1, we were in like Swan year 22. So like
Whoa.
in Swan 1, Swan 2, maybe that would happen in Hoofnagel
Yeah, Hoofnagel
year
early
1 or
years.
2. We were in our
Yeah.
20s, but
Yeah.
I think
Well,
once you
maybe,
get past
maybe the
40,
last place person.
Permanent,
40-year-old virgin.
But the memories.
The 40-year-old virgin.
virgin.
I'm Kelly Clarkson.
So how do you enforce that? Like, how do you know they went and really got the Brazilian?
You have to be there. You have to have witnesses.
So yeah, you gotta have.
There's got to be witnesses.
That's a lot. Man.
I'm not going
So-
to watch some dude.
No. You're a virgin. You just stand there. You know what? This is too much for me. I'm out. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah.
Like, and just be out.
Like
right?
Romney.
Right, exactly. So, but one of the ones that I read about,
I don't care
this was
how
more
this
of
sounds.
a.
I'd hate to miss it.
This
That's
was
too
I would
funny.
hate to miss it. This is more of a financial one. One of the things that I read is the Chode had to pay everybody's entry fee the next year.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's a little-
everybody's
that's a
entry
little
fee in a 10-team
Yeah.
league.
I think that's a
had to
little
pay.
much.
Well, let's not talk about paying
I
$50
do,
for
I
somebody
do
else.
like that at finishing last, you have to at least maybe pay double.
Right.
Yeah.
Pay the champ. Didn't we do that one year? You pay the champs entry fee or some shit, right? Wasn't it something?
I don't know.
I don't know,
I
maybe
like
that
that.
was
Here's an
kiosks or
interesting
something. I do
one.
like that. I do
I
like
like
that
that.
idea though.
The eyebrow of shame.
Fuck that. I'm not
Somebody
shaving.
has to
the eyebrow
shave one,
shame.
shave
I'm not
one of their
shaving my
eyebrows.
Ray
I'm
Ryans.
okay with that.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'd rather you get the Brazilian.
I work from home. It would piss my girl off. That's a win-win. I might do it on
Yeah.
the way home
I'd
for
rather
no
get
fucking
you.
reason.
I'd rather. You know what? If you lose, Ryan, we're gonna make you wax your beard.
That's fucked up, man.
That's
That's way too much. I'd get the tattoo before that, and I don't think I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Wax your beard?
Maybe you have to stand out in the middle of the center of town with a sign draped over you that says,
Yeah.
like, I
lost
suck
my
at
fantasy
fantasy
championship.
football. And then you're sitting there with
With
your
one
arm
eyebrow.
around a blow-up doll with a
And one
Josh
eyebrow.
Allen jersey on
Yeah.
it.
That's pretty good. I like that.
You guys have women in your leagues?
From time to
Yeah.
time.
So,
Yeah.
like, I wonder, women wouldn't mind the eyebrow thing because they could just pencil it or whatever.
Yeah, they just do both of them.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Pencil it in.
man. I gotta think of a few women I know that would be pretty fucking pissed if you
Yeah.
shave their
Oh,
eyebrows.
they got bushy eyebrows?
No,
it
man.
grows back bushy.
Most
Do
women, they
stupid
have them
stuff that
drawn
makes them
on.
look
Yeah,
stupid.
women
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
care.
Women
A lot
don't
of
take
them.
shit. Right?
Yeah, I don't know about that. There's a woman in Swan. There's 2 women in Hoofnagel, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, if I come home and my girlfriend's she got her nails done and they aren't perfect, I gotta hear about it for 2 weeks. Like I'm the
Yeah.
one that did it wrong.
Yeah. But
It's
what
true.
punishment is she willing to take?
Ryan doesn't care. So
Fuck
yeah.
you.
Ryan doesn't give a shit.
Careful, I
so
share a household with her, so when she gets punished, I get punished.
this is all true.
Yeah.
All right. So, any final thoughts? Anybody wanna go over real
Man,
quick?
I'm just excited to
I am
get
too.
to
Fantasy.
to get to training camp at
Yeah.
preseason and see how these
Yeah. Has
teams
Hard Knocks
pan
started?
out.
No, but
Next
they're
week?
doing the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This week
I
or
think
next
it's this
week?
week.
Gotta be
I think it's
soon.
this week.
Nice.
Camp
Camp starts
opened
this
last week, right?
Yeah.
Fans back in the stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I'm
gonna be
sorry,
great.
there's no greater sport for fans in the stands than football.
Yeah.
This is
Baseball.
Hockey.
Baseball.
Hockey.
Look at my guy from Buffalo. with
Baseball
the
and hockey.
Yeah.
Well,
Like you.
he's a Canes fan.
The fans coming back is awesome because that made
that's
the
right.
NBA playoffs so much
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
powerful.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
basketball,
Like watching those
baseball,
guys in
hockey,
Milwaukee,
they're so
that was
much
crazy.
closer to the
Hold
action.
up, you're a Canes fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know about fans in the stands?
Wow.
I'm out.
Yeah, every single game.
And here's
Is
the
that
Bruins
so?
fan over here talking all this junk.
Yeah.
All right, so fellas, thank you so much for coming in here, spending 2.5 hours with
Yeah.
us of your time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to chop this
During
episode
the week.
up.
Oh, real quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are people doing their playoffs through week 18?
No.
Okay.
I would hope not.
Okay.
Fuck, that
You
suck.
would have to do them through 17.
17.
It's
Have
it's,
to.
Yeah, because that last game is going to be just like the normal week 17.
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
I think you have to,
Yep.
Maryland.
Right.
I don't like.
Have to
I'm
go
interested to see what you
players
do for Hoofnagel, to see what you come up with all this shit for Hoofnagel, because you're always so creative with this stuff. I'm very
See?
interested to see what happens. Yeah. So anyway,
With COVID, I might suggest increasing your bench
Yeah.
by maybe 2 players.
that may not be a
Just-
bad idea.
Just
No, we've done it.
Or just leave the waiver wire open.
leave it
Might
open
wanna-
until that player
Yeah.
hits, until that player's game starts.
Yeah.
Right.
You know
and,
what I'm saying?
And that way, if somebody's out, you
yeah.
know,
If somebody that's
us-
already somebody played in the 1:00 game is out, you can replace them with somebody in the 4:00
Yeah.
game,
or
just
on
in
the
case.
Monday game, whatever.
Right, so just like something like that is the little things that I
Definitely
guess you should
too.
do, right, to counteract this COVID bullshit. So, well, fellas, again, thank you very much for your
been
time.
real.
Mr. Ryan Collins and the commissioner,
sir.
Mr. Merrill Holloway,
Yup.
and Mr. Dre, Andre Cameron over there, and Dominic. I am Clint. And thank you for listening to our fantasy podcast. If you have any questions, hit us up on all the social medias at Schmo Sports. And we are on all major podcast channels. So podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer.
And while you're
Google
there,
Podcast.
make sure you
Rate.
leave us a rating
Subscribe.
and a review.
Review.
Subscribe. And if you do all of those things, you
Schmo
might find yourself
League.
in a spot. The Joes versus Schmos fantasy
Pros
football.
versus-
the Pros versus Schmos fantasy football league.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And that would be very interesting. That will be a live draft.
Yep.
And so we're waiting on a date till we.
And we're
fill
going to
all the
record the
spots.
draft. So
Oh,
if you
I
want
can't
to
wait to
part,
hear
if
that.
you want to be
Yeah.
part of the podcast
Yes.
for the league
draft. Yes.
yeah, you
We're
better
gonna do
get
it
on
in
there.
the speakeasy. We're gonna have a few drinks, and we're
Oh,
gonna have
that's
some
dope.
professional athletes in here to do some fantasy football drafting. So
Okay.
it's gonna be a
Dope. Okay.
Exactly.
So we're
guys
super
need to
excited.
look
We'll
at
have
it.
it on.
To do today's
We'll have it on YouTube.
podcast in the speakeasy. That is
I know. I
a
showed
little
both
one.
of them
Setup.
Okay.
downstairs.
Oh,
where-
a lot of
Yeah.
Bills
Yeah.
paraphernalia. In
Yeah,
there.
it's a good time, and it's really good aesthetically for YouTube and whatnot.
I love it.
Oh
I love
yeah,
it.
that's
So-
a good spot.
All right, well, again, everybody, thank you for listening, and we are the Schmos. So, Dom, you know what to do next.
Cut to the theme music.
The Joe Schmo. Joe Schmo.